everyone. Welcome back and Happy New Year. We are back with y'all once again. I'm Nessa.
And I'm T.
And together we are the Casual Fangirls. And today we are here to talk about the most anticipated releases for 2023. We're giving you guys our lists. And now, dates change around. And we know that, we understand that, but these things are reasonably set to come out in 2023. And we are so excited to bring our list to you guys. But before we get into that, T, kick them off with the spoiler warning.
Happy to do so. Happy New Year, everyone. So we are going to be talking about what we're excited for 2003. As Nessa said, we're not talking about a specific IP, so this spoiler warning is a little bit different. We won't be talking about any leaks, but there will probably be some heavy speculation based on what's already been released. So this is just a general spoiler warning that we will be mentioning plot points from anything that's been released prior to 2023 and we'll be freely speculating on what we think may happen moving forward. What does that mean for you? I don't know, pause this and go back and watch everything that's ever been released prior to today. You can try that, or you can just keep listening and then, hope that we don't spoil something major for you. We probably won't.
I doubt it. Yeah. And I feel like anything that happened in 2022 prior, that's y'all.
Yes. So let's just get into it. So when we, decided to do this, we originally said, let's just do our top 3 things that we're most excited for the year. And I'm almost 100% positive that neither one of us stuck to 3. Am I right?
Absolutely. I did not think. Top things I have, 3 they are not. So, that was never my plan.
Let's just give it to us then. Let's go. Let's jump right in.
All right. Before I jump right in, though, I want y'all to know I'm working very hard to get T to expand some of the things that she's watching. All right. I'm trying, y'all.
First of all.
Yes.
First of all, I know I can be difficult. I'm trying. Okay. Second of all, Nessa, we didn't discuss you calling me out like this before we start recording. Third of all, I would argue that you're not giving me great descriptions of these things before I watch it. You have to sell me on why I should watch these things. And you're
just not trust me. Just dive in. Dive in.
Anyways.
But we're going to meet somewhere in the middle because I know I watch all the things and she watches some of the things. I need some more of the things. But
okay, really quickly. The issue is that I have a slightly short attention span when it comes to sitting in front of the TV.
Fair.
So if we are going to talk deeply about something, I have to give it my full 100% attention. And there's literally light years of content out there for us to consume. So I have to be very picky about what I give my time to.
Sometimes
That's all I'll say about that.
Sometimes I just want you to watch because I'm watching. And I'm like, damn it.
That's fair.
I'm going to talk to her about this.
Okay, see, you don't say that. So now that I know that, I can be all right, I will do this for my friend. She's my friend and I love her. And if it means I have to waste 8 hours of my life so that we can have a 1-hour conversation, I will do this for her.
No way. Rude. Anyways, let me get into my list. On the top of my list, this has already been released in 2023. It started January 15th, but it is The Last of Us, based on the video game The Last of Us. As we are recording right now, the first episode has premiered. The second episode is actually coming out tonight. And the first episode hooked me in, boy. Intense. And I love it. It's a zombie story. So yes, it's in the realm of Walking Dead, but it feels like a fresh new take. And maybe I'm saying that because I haven't watched The Walking Dead in years, but it feels a little different, especially the way the characters are actually being turned into zombies. I actually really like this kind of different spin that they have on it. Immediately it draws you in. Pedro Pascal is our lead character. And, we love him as Oberyn Martell. Maybe some of y'all know him from The Mandalorian, whatever. But yeah, so he is so magnetic on screen. I love watching him. I love all the performances. Great, great, great. Are you gonna check in a little?
Can you sell me on it, like outside of, because I don't really watch zombie
You
things.
don't.
But
Okay.
is there something else about the show that is interesting enough to make me want to tune in?
Oberyn isn't enough.
Okay, I will say this. From what I heard about the show, just because I don't watch these things doesn't mean I'm not familiar with like what people are saying about them.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I did find interesting, and this may or may not be a spoiler, so spoiler, is that this storyline actually asks the main characters to make a choice as to if they want to do something about the situation everybody is in. And
Mm-hmm.
that does sound very interesting to me. I don't know if I want to sit through like episodes and episodes of it because again, I don't like zombies, but
Yeah.
maybe I'll watch the first episode. I don't know, maybe.
I wish we lived in the same city so I could be like, come over for dinner and then just have it on.
I would do that. I would do that. I would actually do that. It would feel a lot less pressure.
All right. So I'm excited to watch this season of that show. It should be great. It looks amazing so far. Great critical review, great audience review. So I'm into it. The next one that I have on my list is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, February 17th. I am most excited for this. I have one other Marvel pick, but I think this is my only movie Marvel pick because I feel like this is going to be the one that really sets things off into Kang Dynasty, the Kang era. We were kings, all of that. And so and it's funny because like Ant-Man is not really the franchise that I run to or really care for too deeply. So I'm actually very excited to see what they're going to do with this movie. What's going on with Kang? Do we get more of a backstory? I'm into it. What about you? You looking? I know you're going to watch it, but
I'm going to watch it. Ant-Man is not on my list of most excited for because I don't want to get my hopes up like I did for Multiverse of Madness and then just be, slightly disappointed. I will say though that from the trailer, it looks like at the minimum it's giving us a little bit more of Scott Lang that we haven't really, really seen before, especially that line where he says, I don't have to win, we both just have to lose. Mm-hmm. That feels like a very Captain America, I'm willing to sacrifice myself kind of play, willing to like lay over the wire and let the other guys crawl over you type thing. So I'm excited to see that piece of it, just, Scott Lang and how he's handling life after the blip. But I'm trying very hard to not think about the MCU as a whole and how paramount this movie can or may not be to the story moving forward, because I don't want to get my hopes up again.
No expectations.
No. What you got next?
All right, next up I have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, June 2nd. Man, Into the Spider-Verse is amazing. So they dropped the trailer. It's a million Spider-Men walking around in this universe. I have no reference in terms of like the comics and everything. So all of these Spider-Men and Spider-Women are all very new to me. So I think part of the exciting part is going to be diving into who all of these people are. I'm going to be on the interwebs, honey. Like, who's that one? Why he got a paper bag on his head? Who is Spider-Woman? Like, I think I'm going to love the deep dive, I think is what it's going to be, leading up to the movie in summer. And having that summer release date, it's a big, big, big thing.
Yeah, I'm going to speculate and say this is going to be one of the larger releases this year. One of the larger opening weekends this year when it comes to movies and fandoms. I am also looking forward to it. It's not on my list specifically, but I think specifically coming from the first movie, I'm really interested to see how Miles is handling being a Spider-Man. Like the first one was like his origin story, like just trying to figure it all out. And he obviously figured it out when he did that awesome jump off the skyscraper at the end. So now I'm just like, okay, little black boy in Brooklyn, like, what are we doing? You Spider-Man, I want to know, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I want to see it.
How you rescuing me? All right. The next one I have is Yellow Jackets season 2 coming out March 26th. Not a typical fandom thing, but it's kind of got some spooky, supernatural, possibly elements. We're still trying to figure out the whole mystery behind that. But essentially, a girls' soccer team crash lands in the wilderness in the 90s, and they have to learn how to survive. And a lot of weird things happen. But some of them do survive and make it. And so we get to see them in the present, but they're flashing back and forth. And there's all this whole mystery going around. So I'm super excited for them to bring the show back. I cannot wait. Have you heard of Yellow Jackets before?
I've heard of it. I didn't know that that's what it was about. But it sounds cool. I don't think I would watch. I don't like apocalyptic things. They scare me. I'm just being honest. I'm a punk when it comes to those things. Like, I'm talking about like I Am Legend and Day After Tomorrow scared me.
I mean, it's not apocalypse. It is survival.
Yeah,
I guess it's their own little mini apocalypse because they have, it's all of
soft life.
Glamping?
I would go glamping. I would.
All right. My next one up is The Boys. Well, okay, so these next ones don't have specific dates, but they are scheduled to come out at some point in 2023. So the next one I have is The Boys. I love this show. If you want to talk shows, top tier shows. Season 4 is set to come out this year. There's a whole lot going on in the previous seasons, and I feel like every time I return, I'm just like, how are y'all gonna top the last season? What are y'all gonna shock me with next? Who's gonna die? Who's gonna betray the other one? It's never ending action in the best way possible. So I'm very excited for that one.
That sounds good. I will watch the first episode of that sometime soon too.
Have you watched The Boys at all?
No.
No.
I haven't. And there's nothing stopping me. It's just a commitment. I have commitment issues. So when it comes to watching things, not other things.
Got it. Okay. Next up, related to The Boys, Gen V. So Gen V is a spinoff of The Boys.
Oh.
Think Xavier Institute, but it's at a college. So it's these college-age students figuring out how to use their powers, how to become supes, and I guess whatever path they're going to take. But it looks very much in line with The Boys. In the trailer, there's a lot of blood. I'm still not exactly sure. Outside of the basic premise, I'm not exactly sure what the show is about. Mm-hmm. But it looks interesting, and if it's anything like The Boys, I'm sure I'm going to love it. So I'm super, super excited for that.
That sounds interesting. As you know, and I don't mind sharing with the world, I'm currently working on a screenplay that feels similar to that. So I need to decide if I want to watch that. I feel like I want to finish my pilot first and then watch it so that I'm not influenced by it. So
fair enough.
I will watch it eventually. That I will definitely watch eventually.
She be doing big things, y'all. Y'all see how she dropped that all casually and stuff?
Writing a screenplay.
Writing a screenplay
right now. Okay.
I love it. Let them know, girl. Let them know.
It's good so far too. I like it. When I'm done, you'll be the first person to read it.
I can't wait. All right, next up, similar line of things. Invincible just dropped their teaser.
They did.
Oh, yes. If you guys haven't seen the teaser, it's dang, I'm really gonna explain this casually because it's been a minute. But Invincible is sitting there talking with the Martian guy, and the Martian guy is basically like, "Man, where you been? Like, we miss you. We need you. The world needs you. What's Invincible been doing?" And he's just like, "Well, I've been designing costumes. I've been recording. I've been editing, animating, doing all these things, right?" It's a whole meta kind of conversation. And so he's like, "Well, when is Invincible coming back? We need a date." And they said late 2023. Nice. So late 2023 apparently is when Invincible season 2 will be dropping. I pray they stay on this timeline. It's been too long, literally too long.
So, when we finally get the date, you and I will chat and we'll do a like a Invincible season 1 recap
I love
quickly
it.
to get ready for this, and it'll force me to actually watch it. So,
I love it. I love it. I want it. I want some more of it.
yeah,
Okay. These next picks, I suspect that you have them on your list too.
probably.
So
Let's go.
we'll get into it. My
Yeah.
next one is Loki
Oh
season
yes,
2.
yes, 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 yes. Why are
And
you excited for it?
now that we know we're getting Kang in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, it has to push the story forward. We need to go back. I need to know what happened. We end on such a big cliffhanger that I need to understand all of the things. I'm sure it's going to confuse the heck out of me. We had so many conversations during Loki where I was just like, how does this work? I don't get it. I don't like timelines and time travel, but the show is written so well, performed so well. Tom Hiddleston, yes, come back on my screen. So I'm excited. Why are you excited about this?
I want to see what happened to Sylvie
Yeah.
because she disappeared right at the end of Loki. Just like we don't know where she is, but she's the reason that like all of these things are happening.
She did it.
Yeah, it was that white woman's fault. It was her. And I want to see if she plays victim. Honestly, like I'm interested to see how she reacts to people blaming her for causing all of this stuff. Like, will she own up to it and be like, I did what I thought was right? Or will she be like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And it's like, he told you and you chose not to listen.
Well, first, we know the MCU definitely don't like to blame nobody for nothing. Like, they let Ronan run around and didn't blame him for nothing. Nobody actively blames Tony. He's just kind of like, well, I made some robots, yada, yada, yada. Like, nobody is actually held responsible for the choices that they make throughout these shows. And
That's a great point.
like, let's be serious. And now, like you said, this white woman, and first of all, she's definitely going to be like, I had to do it. I had to do it. It was necessary. If they even confront her.
So I will say that in the past, with decisions that cause a lot of pain for other people, they've tried to make it so that the individual who made that choice feels some sort of remorse. Like even Tony was like, and then I couldn't stop. Like Ultron, my fault. Even Thor was like, I should have went for the head, and like he was upset that he didn't go for the head. Like you saw how that turned out. He completely, was depressed and everything. Yeah, I'm excited to see how they play out. I'm excited to have Owen Wilson back on the screen, like him. He was great. And again, Loki is just always so like tantalizing. He crackles on the screen. I'm just excited for it. And I think Loki is where they're going to do a lot more explaining, like you said. So hopefully that's what happens.
I need it because there was just too much time from the end of Loki season 1 until when we actually get some Kang.
Yeah.
That I'm just like, I need this to be my Kang era. This is the Jonathan Majors era. All right. Yeah. We're all living. It's his world, and we're just living in it right now.
Yeah. So did he come out in Creed 2? I mean, Creed 3 also.
Yes, he does. He also had that pilot movie. I forgot what it was called.
Oh yeah, he has that too. I saw that in the movie, the trailer in the movies.
Mm-hmm. He out
here making his money.
Getting to the bag.
Villain for the MCU's second saga. How much money is he making?
And who knows how many variants of himself he's actually going to play.
He's going to be playing so many different, like, roles. Has any other actor in the MCU done that already? Like, played themselves in multiple... I guess Doctor Strange, we saw him in multiple variants.
Yeah.
And I guess technically Scarlet Witch. But anyways.
Yeah. Yep. Alrighty.
Loki's a good pick.
That's Loki. Next up, we're going back to the ton. Yeah. Get the string quartets ready. Queen Charlotte. The origin story. It's not called the origin story, y'all. But Queen Charlotte is slated to come 2023 on Netflix. And we love us some Bridgerton. We're always here for a good ball. We're always here for some nice, lovely gowns, nice gentlemen. And so I'm really interested to see Queen Charlotte's origin and how she got to where she is. Was she born into money? Did she rise up? Like, how did it go? The one thing that makes me nervous is.
And I think what you're about to say is what makes me excited for it. Go ahead.
The one thing that makes me nervous is I feel like they're going to bring a lot of racial elements into it.
That's exactly what I was going to say. And you know why I'm excited for it?
Why?
Because I need it to make sense. And I'm hoping that they actually make it make sense with this series.
I hear you. So if you guys have watched our Bridgerton pods, we briefly touched on it where I was just like, man, I love that for such a long time. I thought that they just created a world where racial tension issues, slavery just did not exist, right? It's just simply based on your socioeconomic status and your last name and whatever, right? And in one of the episodes, they do mention race and how, white people and black people were separated and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, why? We don't need that. Why do we need to go there? Just give me this world where it doesn't even matter. So I have a feeling that it's going to matter more in this show. And I don't know how I feel about that part.
So the way that I perceive the world of Bridgerton right now is that there was slavery at some point. And then when slavery was banished, instead of enacting laws like the U.S. did with Jim Crow and redlining and all those stuff, enacting laws that kept Black people in lower socioeconomic situations. In this world, they pretty much made it so that Black and white people, or Black people, had a straighter shot towards becoming socioeconomically equal to white people in this world. So it's still fantasy because we know that didn't happen in actual real life, but this idea that, yes, slavery happened, but because of, and the way that they kind of framed it in the first season when Lady Danbury was talking to the Duke was because the King George fell in love with a Black woman, that allowed us to become more equal to them a lot quicker than if that would have never happened. So absolutely, Nessa, you're not going to get out of it. Like, this story is absolutely going to talk about race and all of that stuff. I agree with you. It would have been nice if it was just like race is not a thing and, we're all here to just try to marry as best as we can. But I think it's still an interesting idea of like, okay, slavery happened, but what would have happened if the powers that be didn't want to keep Black people down, basically. Yeah. They was like, oh, no, slavery was actually really bad and you guys are really equal to us. Like, we are totally...
Reparations!
Right. I'm excited for that. I'm excited to dive into that conversation. I know you don't want to, but I do.
Yeah. We'll do it. All right. Last on my list, I have the Penguin. We loved Batman, Robert Pattinson, but Colin Farrell was a standout as the Penguin, and he is getting his own limited series on HBO Max. So it hasn't been put on the chopping block as of yet. We know there's been a lot of changes going on at Warner Brothers, HBO, Discovery, whatever y'all want to call it. And so hopefully they keep this show and we get it in 2023. I'm excited for this performance. I'm not exactly sure what the show is going to be about, but I hope it's his rise to power. And I'm looking forward to it.
So, the Penguin is also on my list. Colin Farrell did an amazing job. I think the Batman, the movie was great, but I think in order of like standout performances, he is absolutely on top. Probably followed by Catwoman and the gentleman that played Commissioner or Detective Gordon. I always forget his name. The Watcher.
Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright. And then Robert Pattinson, probably, like in that order. So I'm very excited for the Penguin. And I think you're right. I think, at the end of the Batman, Falcone was taken out. And so now the Penguin has like free reign to kind of like build his own empire. So I think that's probably what we're going to get. And it's super exciting, especially if we're able to get more, potentially more Alfred. I don't think we got enough Alfred in the Batman movie.
At all. At all.
Mhm.
At all. You can't call in Andy Serkis and like they sidelined that man so bad.
They did. He
That,
should have been thrown down.
that was awful.
Mm-hmm.
But that wraps up my list. You got
Got
anything
it.
extra, Frosty? I know I covered a lot, but there's so much more.
You did amazingly, Nessa. So I will say to those of you that are listening in that Nessa is the heart behind Casual Fangirls. Like she keeps the train moving. I steer it a little bit, but she's like the coal, like in the steam engine. That's like, all right, let's watch these things and like talk about these things, as you can see. Where I'm just like, let's just direct it where it goes. Anyways, so on my list, in addition to all the wonderful things that Nessa said, I have Secret Invasion. Now, I believe Secret Invasion was supposed to be a series, and I think now they're doing it as a movie, correct?
Is it?
I thought they changed it into a movie.
I think it's still...
Oh, no, maybe that was Armor Wars.
Might be Armor.
They changed one of them into a movie. My bad. In any event, Secret Invasion, I'm very interested in. Here's why.
Yeah.
I feel like when it comes to threads from phase 4 of the MCU, there's a couple of like open threads. 1, what is happening with Kang? 2, where are the Eternals and like where do they matter in all of this? 3, are they related to Shang-Chi in any way? Like, is that one thread that we need to piece together? And then 4 is this whole like, where is Fury? What's going on with the Skrulls? A Skrull like popped up on Monica Rambeau at the end of WandaVision. Like, that's like another thing that we need to figure out. And I'm just excited that Secret Invasion is going to actually close that loop for us. I just want some loops closed. I'm tired. I just want to have some of these stories like progress.
Like, we're exhausted. But yeah, no. So I'm excited to get Fury back on our screens as well. I feel like we've gone so long without Samuel Jackson and without... He's
getting older. That worries me.
Listen, he's a strong man. He got this. He got this. But it's been so long since we've had, because for so long, especially throughout the Infinity Saga, right? He's been that one connected thread throughout all of the movies, throughout all of these characters. He's the one who brought the team together. And so to have him go, first of all, to even realize like, oh snap, he's been gone. Wait a minute. What are y'all talking about? Was wild, but to actually find out what he's been up to, where he's been at. Cause he ain't just sitting around taking no vacation. Like he's always plotting, scheming, bringing something to life. So I'm curious to see what he's been up to and what he's been doing. And like you said, closing some loops.
Yeah, I mean, he was off world when Doctor Strange did his whole everyone forget Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So I'm assuming he still knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. And like, even that is like exciting to just have Fury back and be like, where's Peter Parker? And everyone's like, what? Like, you know, if we're back on Earth, right? Like that would be kind of cool to like tie that in and everything like that. Next on my list is The Little Mermaid. I am excited, not so much for the movie itself, if I'm going to be honest, but I'm excited for what it'll do for the culture and like the cultural excitement that'll be around it. I'm sure the soundtrack is going to be banging, but you know, it's live action. Like, I haven't seen a trailer with like live action Flounder or live action Sebastian yet. Not sure what that's going to look like, but Halle as a mermaid, yes. Perfect. Love it. So that should be cool. It should be a cool moment for like the year for Black culture, I think.
I definitely need to see another trailer. I need to see what this looks like. And it's supposed to come out May 26th. So I'm expecting us to at least get another, because we got a teaser. I'm expecting us to get either another teaser or at least a mini trailer by next month. Like it has to.
I would assume we might get it.
February?
Huh?
Shouldn't we get one in February?
We should. And I'm going to guess we'll get the trailer somewhere around the Super Bowl or somewhere around All-Star Weekend. Probably All-Star Weekend.
When is All-Star Weekend?
The same weekend as Valentine's Day.
Oh.
Yeah. I only know that because I've dated people who are into basketball, and so I know I've had to share my Valentine's Day weekend with All-Star Weekend before.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Uh,
But it would make sense to do it then. People are glued to their TVs, like, that kind of thing. So I assume we'll get another trailer for Little Mermaid at the latest All-Star weekend.
Okay. I agree. I didn't even think about that. Smart thinking. That's why they pay you the big bucks.
That's why I get paid the big bucks.
What's
next on my list is Aquaman 2. This is the DC thing. Well, I also had the Penguin, but Aquaman 2. I really enjoyed the first Aquaman when it came out a while ago. It feels like it came out almost 10 years ago. I know it hasn't been that long, but it feels like it came out because I've moved twice since that movie's come out, which is why it feels like it's been so long. But I'm just really excited to see Jason Momoa back on my screen. I'm excited to see where they go with it, especially after, Wakanda Forever with Talokan and how those two are supposed to be very similar to each other across the different cinematic universes. So I'm just excited to see how they do it.
Yeah. So the last time we saw Aquaman, the last time we got an Aquaman movie was 2018. So that's probably why it feels like so long ago. Half the time, 5 years. 5 years. So yeah, he's coming back on our screen. From what I understand too, there's also rumors circulating that he may be giving up. Jason Momoa might be giving up playing Aquaman for another character, which was
in the DC universe.
I believe he's in the DC universe. A character called Lobo, something like that.
Well, that's not confusing at all.
This is random information that I have in my brain. I haven't fully formed thoughts around it. So don't hate me, guys, if I really actually messed it all up. But I believe that was the rumor. But I mean, Jason Momoa is a great actor. I love him. So I will be tuning in. It's not necessarily like, I'll put it this way. Like if I miss the movie, I'm not going to cry about it. But I'm going to watch it.
Yeah. Like these are things that I'm listed are things that I'm either going to go to the movie theater to see or make sure that I'm like watching from the first couple of episodes. Yeah. Like I want to be up to date for the most part. Yeah.
And with all the changes in the DC EU continuity, like I'm just curious to see like if they're going to carry on the original storyline. I don't know what Flash is going to do. So I don't know.
Or even Shazam, because that comes out before any of the other stuff.
Yeah, but I believe Flash is like, because Flash is the guy who he's had storylines where it's like he's gone back in time and reset timelines and done all these things. So I feel like if there's any point in time to be like, we're going to do a whole DCEU reset, it would be with the Flash movie.
That makes sense. And that Flash movie is the same one that old boy Credence is still playing Flash, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we won't talk about that. All right. Next on my list. So those are the movies that I am interested in. Mm-hmm. And then I just have two shows that you haven't mentioned. One of them being Velma. Now, as of this point, 4 episodes have come out with Velma, and stay tuned because we're going to be talking about that separately on a different video. I liked the conceptual idea of Velma, which is what made me put it on my list. That's something that I was looking forward to at least trying in the new year. That's all I'll say about that.
So Velma did not make my list. If you had asked me a few weeks ago, it probably would have made my list. So I have watched all 4 episodes, and we're gonna talk about it. Like T said, we're gonna talk about it in another show. So I don't want to say too much about it, but I will continue to watch the show. I'll put it that way. I'm gonna finish the season out. I'm curious to see it. Where they land, not if they stick the landing, but if they land, basically. And so I'm curious to see what they're trying to actually accomplish with the show. I think that's the thing I'm trying to wrap my mind around is what are y'all trying to accomplish with this show?
What's the point?
And I'm hoping by the end of the season, we'll know what's going on here.
It made my list anyway because I also like to watch things that crash and burn to a certain extent.
Yeah.
because I think it just makes for great examples of like what not to do, and I think that's important in itself. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Game of Thrones will forever be one of the best, TV series of all time to me, even with its like lackluster season 7 and 8 compared to the rest of the seasons and all the hype around it. And it's because I can't wait to tell my future teenagers, do you want to see how a show was on top of the world and then crash and burned?
Jesus.
Watch this.
It's like a case study.
Exactly. And that fits right with my whole like scholarly leaning and everything. I love a good case study. So
Yeah.
Velma, I have plenty of critiques, but I am also going to keep watching it. And it made my list anyway, because prior to it coming out, it was going to be on my list. And even now that I've seen the first couple of episodes, I'm going to keep watching it. So like you said, I can see how it ends. And then finally, I have Abbott Elementary. Season 2 of Abbott Elementary is coming out. I made it through most of season 1, but I'm just going to forever like hype up a Black Queen. So putting it on there is another reminder to you all to go out and watch it. It's a great show.
Yeah, I'm currently watching it right now. I love it. Like, the humor is so great. The casting is wonderful. It's got all those like, it makes you feel like, so we went to Black public school. Well, no. We went to public schools. Yeah.
I mean, Shellbank, where you and I met.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Was Lincoln's a Black school-ish? Mostly?
Yes, but it was skewed. This is going to sound awful. In my classes, not so much.
Okay.
Same. I mean, it's like half and half in my classes. Like,
same.
It was like Asian, white in my most, in the honors classes, and then the majority of the population, was Black.
Ooh, yes, same.
Yeah.
Midwood was pretty mixed, but it's like when I sat in my classrooms, I was like, yeah. All right. So it gives that public school feel that you're just like, oh, I've been there. Oh yeah, the toilets don't work. The teachers are overworked and underfunded. Like, it's, but like, there's so much heart in the show that it's beautiful watch. You can see that the show is made with love, and it's beautiful. I love it.
It's great.
I didn't even know you were watching that, honestly.
I've seen a couple of episodes. It's not something I put on all the time, but I'm familiar with it. Like, I like the janitor. He's funny. He's so funny.
He cracks me up.
That's my list. We already talked about the other ones that were on my list as well, and that's the list for this year that I'm excited about. So I think it's safe to say that we're definitely going to be bringing individual episodes about some of the things we talked about, some of the major films. We're probably definitely going to do a Bridgerton one. Can't wait for that. And maybe like in our potpourri episodes where we kind of put a bunch of stuff together, we'll be sure to mention where we landed with all of our favorites over the year.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much what we're looking forward to this year.
Yeah, I kind of can't wait till like the end of the year to like review this again and be like, that didn't quite work out the way I thought, or this was amazing.
We should make an awards category for it, specifically to make sure that we come back to it.
Come back to it, absolutely.
Yeah.
Love it.
Sounds great. So thanks for joining us today. Please like, subscribe, and follow all of our channels, including our socials. We are at casualfangirls_ on Instagram and the TikTok. Stay tuned as we bring you discussions about all the major releases and fandoms this year. Let us know in the comments. What are you most excited for? Anything that you agree with, anything that we didn't mention, you're like, you're crazy. We should definitely be reviewing that also. Just stay engaged. We're happy to talk with you all. And with that, I'm T.
And I'm Nessa.
And together we are the Casual Fangirls. Bye.